Hey, what is up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. So in today's video, I wanted to have an open and honest conversation to talk about my current trading point in my trading journey. As always, these types of videos are not edited or photoshopped or anything like that. So just gonna go all in. To start off, I want to talk a bit about the month of July 2025, how it started versus the current present day moment. And I want to talk about some of the major challenges I've been facing and that I'm currently facing at this moment as well. So to talk about July as a whole, it has been a nice solid 50-50 on everything. The beginning part, I had just came home from my trip. I was away for about 17 days, if you didn't know, and it was a wonderful experience. It was a huge culture shock, and yet the history and the education behind all the landmarks and the places that we visited were amazing. I was just taken away by all of the brilliance of the architecture, of, again, the culture, of the people, and just everything. So very blessed to have gone and feel very grateful to have been able to go and take it off my bucket list. But coming back to the homeland, coming back to the States here, back to California, I felt so different. Everything about me felt different. And I don't mean that in a dramatic way. I mean that like wholeheartedly, very serious, very genuine. My mindset felt shifted, the way that I felt about life, about the business ventures I wanted to take on, about my trading, about this, about that, just everything felt different. And it was a positive shift. You know, I couldn't quite put words to what I was feeling and what I wanted to do. I just knew that something positive was going to come from it. And I talked about it on my social media. I talked about it to my friends and my family. And yet again, I couldn't quite put like my finger on it. So July 3rd is when we landed back home. July 4th, brand new day. It's Friday. There's no trading for me on that day. Market, I think it's closed actually. So then we have to wait for the following week to come around before I can finally get into the groove of a normal routine. But even then, as the week rolled around, that first and second week, I didn't find a solidified routine. All I knew was I'm going to wake up in the morning, do some of the things I need to do, and then I would do my trading session. So I did just that. I was open to embracing whatever happened, to let it happen. I was completely detached from everything in my life, from trading to personal things to fitness. I was just detached from everything. A part of it's because I lost a sense of routine and guidance and kind of direction being away for so long. And then obviously the second part is just that I felt so different about everything that I wasn't sure what I should fully take on and kind of pursue. So I would just let everything kind of run free, so to speak. So by fully embracing all the highs and lows, all the random things in between, I actually performed really well. I was so detached from everything too that nothing really fazed me. My emotions were not crazy and I just was letting things happen. I even had my shark week during that time frame and I was perfectly fine. Just letting it go. Just letting things go, letting it be, letting Jesus take the wheel. I was just chilling. And I did really well. I found so much consistency with my trading. I was able to rebuild some of the accounts I had, rebuild them back up to a payout. I was able to just find peace and love in the sun and not have to worry about what was on the screen. Funny enough, I made a few YouTube videos at that time frame and I didn't post any of them because I just felt like I sounded crazy or maybe it just wasn't good enough for the channel and I didn't post any of them. And so I was just really just doing my own thing. So between that first week of July, we'll call it like July 9th, July 8th, up until last week, I was taking out so many payouts that July 2025 became the biggest payout month of my entire prop firm trading career. Now, this is a huge milestone. I'm so just happy and blessed for this accomplishment. But that was just the start of July. And that's why 50% of the month feels really good because more than 50% of the month was pretty solid with having myself be accountable for every mistake that I had, for every win that I had, having my reflection periods very often, very frequently to make sure that I see the progress, that I'm implementing the lessons, that I'm doing something about it, back testing, forward testing, and then also finding consistency within my trading, taking more of the same kind of setups, having the confidence from my back testing and forward testing of my strategy, using the edge, and just, again, embracing the highs and lows and treating them the same, not treating the red days as more negatively, not treating the green days as more positively, just treating them the same, taking them as they are, and still just being detached from everything. I was thriving. I was just thriving and I was so inactive on social media still. Coming back, obviously posting a bit more, but just being more detached from that too. So you can see that a lot of the wins that I had was because I was really focused on myself. I was letting things just come to me naturally and just embracing it all. And I was being detached from everything, not just trading, but just kind of like everything in life. Obviously, being present in the moment, obviously being with my family and my friends, spending time, but being detached as far as like, if there's problems that don't need to be with me, that I don't need to keep close to my heart, then just be detached from it. I was already so many miles away across the country that being physically detached from my close inner circle, from what I'm used to in my current environment, everything was just different. So I was already used to it. But as the days started to grow in July, I was feeling the momentum and this roll of the ball that I was having, that I decided, you know what, let me go ahead and challenge myself. Let me see if I can push myself to a new limit and be able to scale a bit more here, so I can see my potential, so I can see if I can implement on a bigger scale, so I can see if I'm able to just grow a bit more and take some more money out. So I decided to do the 100 trading day challenge. I talked about it in like the last 3 live streams. I was posting about it like sporadically on YouTube and on Twitter. And so I thought, let me try this out. I'm pretty excited about it. And at that point, I would like to say that I was starting to feel that kind of negative downward turn in the spiral. I had already started to feel it prior to posting about it on social media, because the dwindle of my momentum, the dwindle of the spark I was having was starting to go away. And a piece of it definitely came from having that high feeling of all the wins and accomplishments I've already had thus far. A part of it too was that I was starting to become a bit more attached to what my numbers were, given that I was posting more of it on social media. So in theory, I was also becoming more attached to social media again, finding myself scrolling on Twitter more, finding myself scrolling on Instagram and YouTube more. It just became a thing where I'm starting to become attached to it. And then the final piece of that pie, obviously, is creating this challenge where I know myself, I've said it to you guys many times before, and yet I still do it to myself. By creating this challenge, like, yes, there's the upside where I can have the reward of pushing myself to a new limit, seeing if I have what it takes. Even if I fail, at least I can say I push myself out of the comfort zone. But the bigger downside of it all has always been the same thing, which is the stress, the pressure, and the anxiety that comes from talking about these things on the internet, posting about these things on the internet, and then it does carry into my trading performance. So it's shown every single time I've done a challenge. It's fine. I always face some type of heat and drawdown after I start a challenge or talk about a challenge, or once I finish a challenge that I post on the internet. And it's been kind of like the thing, but I still wanted to pursue it. I still wanted to keep it going. And even if I'm feeling the way that I do, I still wanted to just keep it going. So the last few trading days, like I said, I've just been dwindling with the momentum. The consistency I had with my trading, with the setups, with the kind of trades I was taking, with the system, with my risk, with definitely the emotions and the mental part, have just been all out of order, all out of whack. The reflection, I have that every day. The accountability, I still have that every day too. But the reflections I have, all I see is red. Not red as far as like all red P&Ls, but red as in, it's just not a good feeling. Like, I black out sometimes when I reflect. I'm like, dude, what was I thinking? What was I doing? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? Compared to the beginning of the month, it made sense why I did what I did. The reasoning was more valid. I had the confirmation back then. And then the accountability part, I'm taking accountability every day, trust me. Like, it sucks losing. It sucks losing accounts. It sucks losing trades. It sucks losing money. Everybody knows that. Not enough people talk about it. I'm always going to tell you guys that it sucks, because we know it sucks. It's inevitable, but I'm always going to take accountability for it, because I'm accountable for how my trading journey is going to end up, the results of it, and how it goes. And so for me right now, like, the accountability part, it hurts, because obviously I am responsible for how my results are coming out day in and day out, after every single trade, before every single trade. And knowing that I'm putting myself, like, literally, I'm the one clicking the button, so I'm putting myself in this current, like, pitfall, this current dirt hole of where I'm at, it's disgusting. And I'm so frustrated and upset with myself that I never would have thought me starting off on such a high note of July, having so many accomplishments that I'm so proud of, And then now at the end of the month, July 30th, 2025, I feel so crappy. So I wouldn't have guessed this to be on my bingo card. This was never the plan, obviously. But I guess sometimes you have to learn how to take the foot off the gas instead of trying to push it to keep on going further. So the last thing I'll show you now on the screen is going to be my, bear with me just a moment. Right here. Okay, this is my rise. So you can see like I've taken quite a bit of payouts from trade day, also a nice big payout from Funded Next. And it's been a really nice month. I've also taken payouts with direct bank account hits. So it's not just from Rise, but I didn't want to include my personal bank account stuff on here. But these are just some of the payouts that I've taken today, or this month. And it's been very lucrative. It's been really great. It's been really strong for me. But now, as we go into current day of my current accounts, I just wanted to be so brutally honest and show you guys that it was hard for me today. Today was FOMC, and I was caught a lot of times in the FOMC pre-chop. I should have known better, honestly, but I didn't. And even though maybe I did in my mind, knowing that it's pre-FOMC, maybe I should just wait, I still traded anyways. So there goes the lack of the consistency with following the plan, following the right things to do, and just doing it anyways because, out of boredom, out of greed? I don't even know what to tell you at this point, but it was so silly. So these are my Funded Next accounts, and I'm only going to show you a few of my accounts because these are the main ones that I lost with. So this is my Funded Next accounts. This one on the top is my Funded Next Legacy Funded account. So today I had a hit of a $1,200 daily loss limit. That did not need to happen. This was during the pre-FOMC, during the chop time. So again, that could have been easily avoided had I just waited, or maybe not even trade, because not trading is also a position. So that was crappy. And then during the FOMC actual movement, I was able to capitalize. I had already made about like $300 per account for these 50K rapid challenge ones. And then during FOMC, I was able to catch the shorts to continue lower, and I was able to actually pass these sets of 5. So hopefully, I was able to respect all the rules that Funded Next has for these challenges. I haven't double checked, but I did reach the profit target at least. So it just shows had I just waited, there's more movement to be able to capitalize on instead of trading a chop that I did not need to trade. The other set I want to show you is my Tradify. This one was definitely a stinger because I was just, honestly, I was dumb at this point, and it's just so frustrating looking at it now. But I started the day with the first 500K growth up here. These 5, I was up about, let's say anywhere between $700 to $1,000 in profits. I was going to call it a day. And for me, I have already instilled, I'm going to take my time with passing these ones, so it's totally fine. But because it was FOMC and it was happening, I was like, you know what? I might be able to pass the accounts today. So what did I do? I followed the greed. I followed the inner self-talk instead of the system of allowing myself time to pass. And instead, I was just chasing money. So I jumped into some trades. It worked out. I literally grew the account an extra $27,000 to $3,000 in profits. So at this point, I was around, I think, $105,000 total balance per each account, maybe a little bit less. And at this point, I could have just stopped. I'm only about anywhere between $1,000 to $1,300 away from reaching the profit target. If I just continue my plan of taking my time, knowing my set amount I can make per day, I will pass literally in no time. I'll pass by the time my 100 trading day challenge starts. There's no rush. But what did I do? Again, I chased the greed. I chased the profits. I ended up blowing all of the profits and then some, hitting the daily loss on these 5. Now, the bottom 2, these accounts I didn't even have. I literally purchased them after I hit the daily loss on these 5 because I wanted to revenge trade. So that's just the honest truth. It was ugly. Honestly, I'm glad I did that instead of trading my other funded accounts I have on the back burner. But still, it's still just crappy to have went full revenge mode on these 2 eval accounts just to have daily loss hit on both of them as well. And mind you, I had a little bit of profits made on them both where I could have stopped, but no, I just kept going because I wanted to prove something to, I don't know, the universe or something. Then the second to last one I want to show is another set that did sting a bit, but I was very okay with embracing the loss, just given that Apex has always been low-key a bit of a curse for me. I don't know why, but it's been kind of a curse for me. But as you can see, these are evals, and these ones, I don't remember if I traded them this morning or previously and they're just not removed. But in any case, these 6 PAs right here, I did hit the max loss limit. I just went full tilt mode. I started off gradually, and then I just couldn't accept the loss. And at that point, I was able to accept the loss, but I went full deep in and I just didn't care anymore. So that's just me being brutally honest. Like, I didn't care. And that just shows that I let the emotions still continue to take the best of me. My mental was so exhausted and wiped out at this point that I just didn't care. The chop was just messing with me. So, whatever. That's the way I said it. I was like, whatever, I don't care. Then the final 3 at this point had already taken a break from trading, and that was probably the best thing I could have done, and one of the major reasons why I came back with a better head on my shoulders, because I actually took decent trades with these 3 accounts. I brought in 527 profits. It may not be a lot, but all I really needed per day as part of my goal is $100. So this surpassed it 5x, and I'm grateful for it, you know? But even then, that can still lead into the whole issue I'm having of allowing greed to take over. You know, had I just stopped at the 100 and called it a day, I'm following the plan. So there's where I'm kind of having some faults in my consistency with following what really is my new system moving forward and what I want from the way I'm trading. And then for the final one I want to show you is going to be the Top Step accounts. I did end up losing both of them. One of them yesterday, and then I lost the other one. Oh, actually yesterday too. Wow, how am I forgetting that? And then actually today I lost another funded account, I believe. So at least maybe I thought I did. But in any case, I lost the 2 XFAs. So that was really crappy having that happen. Again, just part of the last few trading days where everything was dwindling. My sizing's wrong. My emotions are all over. My mental is exhausted. My Shark Week is next week, so I know that's a big factor into how I'm feeling in trading. But even then, like, I should be slowing down then. You know, I should be pacing myself as far as understanding that I'm going through a bit of heat. I'm going through a bit of a kind of funk. So I should just maybe chill out. And finally, after all of the kind of lessons and all of the wins and all of the losses and all the payouts and everything, I've finally decided that, you know what, I think it's time for me to go ahead and take a little bit of a few days break. So today's Wednesday, July 30th, as you saw on the screen, the timestamps on the chart and everything. It's July 30th, 2025, and I've decided that at least tomorrow, which might be the time this recording is going to be live on my YouTube, so the 31st and then the 1st of August, I'm probably going to just take a step back of trading. If I do trade, I'll do an eval or 2 or something, but I won't be touching my funded accounts until next week, because I think it's time for sure to go ahead and take that mental and emotional break, to give myself some time to kind of really heal and build that up again, like I once had it so strong and so confident in the beginning of July, and allow myself to embrace the wins and the losses better and more equally. You know what they say in trading, when you are the best loser, that's really how you win in this game. So I need to become better at losing over the next rest of my life, I should say, but more specifically the next few days, I just want to allow myself to just recover from all the tears, all the anger, all of the flip of everything, and make sure I come back into the charts with a much more clear conscience and a much more clear headspace. Because obviously, as you know, when you carry in all the negative stuff and all the things that have been building up in your mind and in your heart, and you bring it onto the charts, it just makes it that much harder. So that's everything I wanted to talk about. I know that this was a bit of a long one, but I do appreciate you guys if you watch all the way through. I just wanted to be very transparent about how my month of July went, regardless of having a huge 50% month of just being green and huge accomplishments and being genuinely very proud of myself. The other 50% lately has been just feeling frustrated and flustered and not proud of where I'm at and who I am based on my trading. And so I just need to get better. So outside of taking my next 2 days off of trading to just kind of recover, I've also been back into the gym, which is huge. Believe it or not, I have not been in the gym in quite some time. And that's always been a huge staple for me. If you know me, you know me. But I've also kind of neglected that. And I think that is going to be a huge component to rebuild my discipline and also a part of my drive. So that's where I'm at, guys. Again, thank you so much for supporting me this long in my journey. If you have, or if you're brand new, welcome to the channel. Sorry to see that you're here during my red drawdown period, during the frustration period, but I do believe in my heart that regardless of the pain that I have and the anger that I have, and maybe even how calm and composed I look in the video, I know that this temporary version of myself, I will defeat it. I will end up on top of beating this version of myself, and I will come back stronger and better. It's going to take time, and I just want to put it out there into the universe, manifest it, that I embrace everything, the highs and the lows, and I'm going to be better and ready to go again. So yeah, I'm still going to be active on social media though, if you didn't know. But yeah, that's everything I wanted to cover. So again, thank you so much for your time and support. As always, I wish you guys nothing but the best and the most success in all that you do, and I will see you all in the next video.